Welcome to another presentation, and this is something that I want to go over with in case you want to be getting in the best shape of your life, but you're struggling with overeating while cutting the weight. And so this is something I just went over like about a month to 2 weeks ago, and I want to show you my experience with what I've dealt with and what's helped me with the bonus solution of intermittent fasting and how it works and why I do it now and how it's been helping me to stay on track with my macro goals, with my eating goals. And so I'm going to go over the main reasons to why you're overeating and why I used to overeat. It's not 100% that I fixed it. I'm just showing you the solutions that I've conquered so that I can actually show you what to do and see why, and show you how you can implement it into your life, right? So how does this keep happening? So we have to ask ourselves, how does this keep happening? We keep overeating because of these 6 reasons. So the first one is you have the all or nothing mindset, and I think we all have this, if I'm being honest, right? I still have it sometimes. You think that you broke the diet, so you might as well just enjoy the rest of the day before you get back on track tomorrow. That's the wrong way of looking at things, because your brain is now tricking you into an excuse to binge eating to the rest of the day. It's not about being perfect. This is not about being perfect. This is about being consistent. Just because you went 200 calories over doesn't mean you have to make it 2,000 calories over now for the rest of the day. And now you're just binge eating with whatever snacks, and you're just telling your brain to eat, right? This guilt spirals you to eat more later because the day wasn't perfect. You went 1 calorie over, and now you think you just can just let go of everything. All your discipline goes out the window. And this is something I used to do, right? I'm showing my transparency through my efforts on my Instagram, on my YouTube, and I'm just showing you what exactly I've been doing to fix this, right? And I'm doing in real time to fix, okay? So perfection isn't sustainable, but recovery is super powerful. You might go over your calories some days here and there, but the recovery is super, super powerful. That's where how you react to that situation is going to really determine on where you go, right? If you react in a negative way and you think, oh, it wasn't perfect, I'm just going to eat Oreos the rest of the day, then you might not be ready or suited enough to really continue on this journey. Not to scare you or anything, but that's just what it might be. Your environment. It's not a discipline problem, it's a convenience problem, right? You have snacks on the counter and you just grab them without thinking. You have everything within arm's reach, and now you can just eat and binge eat because you could just reach it here and there. So that's really, really dangerous, right? You have a pantry of hyper palatable foods, and just a handful turns into 800 calories. You have DoorDash, you have Uber Eats, you have cereal, you have chips, you have cookies, all within arm's reach. Your phone is right there. You might order something online, all within arm's reach. And that's really dangerous, right? Your brain is wired for survival and reward, not willpower. So you see the food, that's a trigger. You smell the food, that's a dopamine, and that's temptation kicking in. And once you eat the food, that's when your brain tells you that's a reward. It's good. It tastes good. It tastes good. So now when you see the food, let's say you saw the pizza, okay, that's a trigger. You smell the pizza, okay, that's dopamine, that's temptation. And now eating the food, that's a reward. Your brain tells you pizza, reward, pizza, reward. And your brain constantly is the best salesman that you're ever going to listen to. So it's going to constantly sell you on the fact, get the pizza because it tastes good. Get the pizza because it tastes good. Get the pizza. And it's now you're on autopilot repetition, which is eating. So you want to just avoid that cue. Avoid it from happening. The best way to solve a problem is to avoid it from happening. So that's why you get it out of sight and it's out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. If it's not there, you won't even think about it. Then problem solved, right? Sounds simple, but that's the best way to solve a problem. It's to avoid it from happening. And I understand though, you have family, brings home pizza, brings home McDonald's, brings home, my family loves to go to McDonald's. They love to bring McDonald's home whenever we have extra. And it's super hard for me to just not grab it because it's just right there. Especially on days where I went a little bit over my calories. Now I'm thinking like, oh, I might as well just finish that McDonald's because I went over my calories. So it's not a big deal, right? It is a big deal. So get it out of sight. Change your environment. Clean up your environment to where you only have healthy foods around you within arm's reach, right? I have a coffee right here, which is fine because I'm fasting. I have water right here, which is fine because it's just water. I want to hydrate myself. And I'm going to go over the solutions later on too. So I just want to give you a couple nuggets real quick before we go to the rest of the problems. And then I'm going to give you all the solutions that could possibly help you, and you just take as you will, right? So third reason, eating too fast. You're not overeating because you need more food. You're overeating because you didn't give your body a chance to realize it's full. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes for your brain to register that you've eaten enough, so you feel full when it's too late. Right? You don't realize it's happening because you're eating while standing, you're eating while scrolling, driving, shoveling food in between work and classes. You don't even realize it. Especially watching YouTube and suddenly your plate's empty. Now, if you're watching YouTube and before you already measured your macros, you already measured your calories, your proteins, your carbs, and then you just go sit down and watch YouTube, that's fine. But if you're going to watch YouTube and then you get hungry and then you just like put whatever on your plate, now you're just eating and watching YouTube, you don't even realize how much you're eating, right? Especially if you have a family-sized bag of chips in your arm's reach, and now you're watching YouTube, you're just munching. You're just munching now, and you don't even realize how much until the bag is empty. So stop inhaling your food, right, and start chewing more. Chew more. Chew longer. You're eating way too fast, right? You have to chew longer. Maybe take 20 seconds per mouthful to chew, or maybe take 20 chews. It sounds silly, I know, but it's the little things that can really help us to realize that, okay, I'm eating way too fast. My stomach hasn't even processed the food I've ate just right now. Let me chew a little bit longer and longer and longer, and your body is going to start to process, and you might even have leftovers. Right? Not saying to waste food, but just chew slower, okay? You're drinking everything. I drink protein bottles almost every day, but I still wasn't satisfied. I still only drink it here and there when I need to just add some protein because my protein intake is low, but it's not a default mechanism. It's not like my default go-to, right? Liquid calories digest way faster than solid food, and your body doesn't register liquid satiety the same way that whole foods do. Okay, use drinks and shakes as backup, not as the default. Prioritize chewable proteins like eggs, ground beef, salmon, steak. Steak is a really good one. That one keeps me busy, because now I have a big steak in front of me, and I have to like, oh man, this is gonna take a while, and then by the time I'm like halfway done, I'm already getting full. So steak is a great one. Cottage cheese. Get more like chewable, that will take longer, that will keep you busy, instead of just drinking all your proteins, to having shakes all the time. That's why you don't see me making shakes too much anymore, because as I'm cutting, I want to be able to just take time to actually digest the food. And I'm eating more whole foods right now. Like I'm eating chicken breast, I'm eating turkey breast, I'm eating eggs, I'm eating ground beef now. Well, I've been eating ground beef for a while, but you get the point, right? And also, build your meals with volume and texture, like rice, veggies, and fibrous carbs. You want to have these all put together into a well-rounded meal, so that if you intermittent fast, let's say you intermittent fast until like 12 o'clock, and then you have your first meal, and you have steak and eggs, and then some rice or potato, you're going to feel full for at least a couple hours to like 4 to 5 o'clock, and by the time it gets to 4 to 5 o'clock, you get to eat your final meal, and then you get to go to sleep feeling satisfied. That's why I'm intermittent fasting right now personally, because it's been helping me stay within my calorie deficit, right? It's been less than a week, but the results are showing, right? I feel like I have more focus in the morning because I'm not eating carbs all the time. I'm not eating too much in the morning. After my workouts, I'm just showering and I just go straight to work, and then I eat my foods later as a reward after I focus and I did my workout, I did my morning work, I did my morning routine. It's been really helping me, right? Just eating the foods later on so that I'm not too foggy headed. So, and then boredom. You're not feeding your body, you're feeding your brain to do something. It's a big one, because when you're bored, you're anxious, you're tired, or just stuck with whatever's going on in your personal life because might have work, you might have school, you might have assignments, you might have tasks to do, you might have late work to do, you have overtime. All this can really add up to emotions, and it could really have you to binge eat and to as a coping mechanism, right? When you're bored, anxious, tired, or just stuck, food becomes your dopamine button to escape. It's not hunger, it's just habit, emotion, and negative momentum. So this ties into your environment at the same time. If you're doing nothing and you see a snack, now you're mindlessly just eating on autopilot. If you come back home from work, you're all tired, you're anxious maybe, you're kind of exhausted, and you sit on the couch, and now you see like a Pop-Tart on the table, or you see like popcorn right next to you. Now you're just binge eating, and now it's way too late. So ask yourself before you grab something, are you really hungry? Are you actually hungry? Like, is your stomach actually just grumbling to the point where you are starving, right? If not, go on a walk, go on a run. This is the best option I've ever done because I went on a 4-hour Hollywood hike. I went to the Hollywood sign, and I remember I was hungry like around 8 a.m. I was hungry. And we went on a hike, and it's been like 4 hours long. I wasn't even thinking about food. I was just thinking about finishing the hike, right? And I wasn't hungry during that whole time because my body was too busy expending the energy that's already within my body and not thinking about being hungry because your body is a survival, it's on like survival mode, right? So it's trying to use the energy it has in its body to expend energy when you're on hiking, when you're walking, when you're running. So exercising in the morning is a great way to like start your day because that's why I do my push-ups, that's why I do my cardio, because that kills the hunger because now it keeps your body busy to use the energy that's already inside of you, right? Chew gum, chew mints, have something to chew on. Gum, I have some Nero mints right here. Just have some Nero mints. I have packs of gum right here in case I get, hungry during my work blocks. That also helps, but just stay away from the kitchen, right? Just stay away from the kitchen too. Go on a run, go on a walk, maybe even read a book, chew some gum. It's just boredom. Most of the time it's just boredom and you're not even really hungry, okay? And then final reason, social triggers. This is the main one that's been a big one for especially younger adults, younger teens, with friends night outs, family gatherings, peer pressure to just eat just one adds up really fast, just one slice, just one scoop, just one this, right? And you don't want to be that guy who says no, so you don't want to be the boring one. You don't want to miss out on the fun. So you just eat with everyone else. And then you tell yourself, I'm going to remember this moments. I'm going to enjoy this now. I'll just lock in later. Well, now you're surrounded by people who don't have your goals. If your friends or family don't support you and they actually tempt you to break your habits to get away from your goals, they don't actually care for you. They really don't. Because they would be understanding if they really did care for you. If they cared for your well-being. That's why when you see usually people who are out of shape, everyone around them who are friends are also out of shape. You are the sum of the people you hang out with. It's a real thing, right? And so you're eating food that you didn't even want. You're just eating the food just to make someone else feel comfortable. Realize that. Are you actually doing this because you want to do it? Or is it because you don't want to be that one guy, that one boring guy, the one too serious, the one that's locked in, that's too serious on his goals? I was that one guy. And it was totally fine because I knew where I was headed. You got to know where you're headed. Because no one else is going to care for your goals as much as you do. No one else will. You have to care for it more and you have to want it. So when all these social triggers come by, you have to learn how to say no, and it's not easy. I understand that. I'm not saying to be a monk and just stay home and keep measuring chicken and rice every single day. Once in a while you can go out, but let's be honest, it's not once in a while. You go out probably like a couple times a week, probably a couple times a month. It's pretty frequent than just once a week. Usually people are drinking out, eating out twice, 3 times a week with their friends. So just minimize how many times you get those social triggers, right? All right. And also now, Solutions. These are all the solutions with the bonus solution that I'm going to show you about intermittent fasting and how it's helped me to really stay under my calorie deficit. So understand to be consistent, not perfect. All right, we have bad days, but minimize them as much as you can. Why would you why would you try to get out of a hole and just keep digging? You're just digging yourself a deeper hole to get out of. Right? If you go over your calories, that's fine. Just be consistent tomorrow. Now, if you go over your calories, stay right there. Don't make it twice as much. Stay right there. And then tomorrow, just get back on track. Alright? You're not going to have perfect days. I don't have perfect days. As much as it looks like on my Instagram, I don't have perfect days. I don't have the best meals. Sometimes I go over. It's totally fine. You have to be consistent though. That's what I've really learned with this weight loss journey. Hide snacks on high shelves and bins, or don't even buy them. The best way, again, to avoid a problem the best way to solve a problem is to avoid it. And so if you just avoid buying the snacks, then you won't get those social cues, or not social cues. You won't just get those triggers. You won't get those cues, and you won't be fighting the temptation every single day. And I understand that you might have family, that buy stuff that brings home like high sugary snacks, brings home Pop-Tarts, brings home fast food, brings home pizza, and they just bring all this stuff that that you can't eat. Then at least hide them and keep your snacks, the protein, the fruits, the water, visible and within arm's reach. Like water, within arm's reach right here. My coffee, it's not bad right now, right? I just drink it because to kill the appetite. And so just have all those things within arm's reach. Visible and ready, so in case you do get those cravings and you just can't stand it, then you're going to have something healthier, right? A protein bar, not the best, but it's much better than any other candy out there, right? That's just my opinion. Now slow down when you eat with no distractions, put the fork down between bites, chew more, or at least measure out how much you're going to eat, and then you could go ahead and watch a TV show or watch a movie or something, but measure out where you're going to eat first. Don't just go and watch a movie and then you're like serving yourself constant like scoops of ice cream or chips and stuff. Measure out your meals. Measure it out. Don't even eating too much healthy foods is bad. Eating too much healthy foods is also bad. Too much of anything is bad. So measure out your meals. Then you can go and turn on the YouTube, go turn on the TV, go watch a movie, and once you're done, because you already measured it out, right? Once you're done eating, you're just done right there. That's it. Right? Now, again, prioritize chewable foods. Eggs, chicken, ground beef, salmon, steak. And also pair those up with vegetables, because vegetables are great because they require more volume to get more calories. Right? So a cup of rice probably will be a couple hundred calories when it's cooked. A cup of vegetables is probably like less than 100 calories. Less than 100. So you eat the broccoli. You can have broccoli, blueberries, fruits. Berries. Berries are really good. Strawberries, watermelon, blueberries. You need so much of them to even get a couple hundred calories in. But you can easily get a couple hundred calories with rice or with snacks, with sugary snacks. Super easy to get them. But with vegetables, it's going to take a lot more of them to actually get those couple hundred calories. So which is great for weight loss. That's why I would put them in protein shakes. If you ever have protein shakes, just put some berries in there. You're going to feel much more full. Ask yourself, am I actually hungry or am I just avoiding something? Build a distraction list. Go on a walk, journal, sip tea. A tea is also good. If you don't like tea, I would say 0 sugar soda or diet soda. Not the best, but if you're coming from someone who has been drinking so much soda, then going from that to 0 sugar or diet soda, it's a much better alternative. Not the best, but it's a much better alternative to start implementing practices into your nutrition habits. And then call a friend, work on an assignment, clean your environment, clean your room or something, get your mind busy. It's best to be busy, and which is why I go on walks and I also go on runs, so I can really just focus on, listening to some music or a podcast, and I don't have to worry about being hungry because I'm not near any food. Just stay away from the kitchen. That's the biggest thing that I would say. And then learning to say no. What's more important? You got to ask yourself this. What's more important? Your goals or pleasing other people? And I would add to say your goals or pleasing other people who don't care for your goals. That's a real question to ask yourself. Because most other people don't really care for your goals. Matter of fact, they care that you fail because it protects their ego. So ask yourself that. Do you really want to go out with your friends? Or is it just that you don't want to be that boring guy? Right? I'm not saying that you have to just be alone the whole time. No. I'm saying if you're going to go out, minimize it. Just go out once in a while, and if you do go out, calculate where you're going to eat, where you're going to eat at, where you're going to order. You don't have to track every single thing, but at least have a direction of where you're going to go. Let's say if you go to a barbecue place, okay, do they have ribs? Maybe not too much barbecue on it, Try to calculate these things. I'm just like giving examples here and there. Just calculate and look for the foods that are best for you based off where you go out with your friends. Chicken breast. Get some fried food. I mean, not fried. Grilled food, sorry. Don't get fried food. If you see something grilled on the menu, go for that one. Right? It's not going to be perfect, but it's much better than just binge eating and just eating whatever just because you're out and enjoying this time. So, that's what I would say. And then the bonus solution. I think intermittent fasting is such a great solution if you have the discipline for it. So, what's intermittent fasting? It reduces the total hours you're tempted to snack. So, you're fasting for about 16 hours, and then you eat from like 12 to 8 o'clock usually, right? It helps regulate hunger hormones over time, and it gives your digestion a break so you can feel more in control, and it makes it easier to eat fewer, bigger meals that actually satisfy you, right? So if you fast in the morning, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm fasting in the morning, and I'm saving my bigger meals later on so that when I go to sleep, I don't have to sleep starving, right? Because you have a shorter window to fit your foods, to hit your proteins, to hit your macros. So push your first meal later. To like 12 to 8 p.m. should be your eating window. So your first meal could be like around 12, and then hydrate in the morning to stay busy. That's why I'm drinking my coffee right now. I have some water near me. That's all perfect just to keep your stomach busy, right? And go on a walk, go on a run in the morning. Maybe that's why I do my cardio in the morning. I do my push-ups in the morning, right? So make sure your meals, though, are still high protein and well-rounded later, right? Don't just starve and binge later. Don't just starve in the morning and then say, oh, I can't wait to go just snack on all these things later on in the day because I haven't ate all day. No. You calculate your well-protein meals, your well-rounded protein meals, and you actually try to hit your macros within that 12 to 8 hour window, right? Or that 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., that 8 hour window right there. And the key mindset is that fasting isn't about starving yourself. It's about removing decision fatigue and giving your body a rhythm. Right? Because if you eat in the morning, at least for me, if you eat in the morning, like already half your calories, and then now you're debating what to eat later on, and you're now trying to resist all these temptations because you already finished your calories early in the day, and you're really tempted to go eat the snacks, and you're really tempted to order food, and you're really tempted. But if you save your meals for later, now you're not tempted because you're not even hungry anymore. You're still digesting your food. So that's what I would say. If you want to do intermittent fasting and you have the discipline for it, go ahead, because it's something that I've been doing right now, and I've been doing for less than a week though. So we're going to have to see how it goes and if my weight fluctuates. But that's what I would do if I had to stop overeating while cutting, and I'm still cutting right now. I'm going to main gain maybe later this month or next month, but during this cut, I did learn a lot. So, and I did overeat a couple of days out of the couple months, So it's been really hard, but if you ever want to cut your weight, you want to be in the best shape of your life, and you don't know what to do, then I would just follow this structure right here with how you keep overeating your calories, and these are the solutions that I would give you based off my experience. So, but if you still have trouble, I'm still going to put a link in the chat, or not in the chat, a link in the description if you want to book a call and see if you really want to work one-on-one with me and go on this journey with me together, and we can lose and get your best weight physique possible, right? It's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of time, but with the right guidance, you can get there faster. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I'll be making another one later for next week. But that's it for me today. I'll see you guys later.